Victory!
Okay, so let's get into how I came up with my game for the PixelCRAM 2025 Jam, and you had to use ClickTeam Fusion 2.5 to make it. It's very challenging to make a game fitting those small dimensions, but at the same time, ClickTeam Fusion 2.5 is perfect for pixel games, and yeah, I actually quite enjoyed the challenge. But what I'll do to start with, I'll show you some of my first prototypes. So I just used the platform movement object. This is just using keyboard to come up with some different movements, left, right, jump, and then the animations that would go with it, sword attacks, left and right, crouch, and roll. But the interesting thing that I came up with was that once you got past this active here in the middle of the screen, the player would turn to face it automatically without you having to worry about it. So very important for when you do a roll. Now the weird thing was I still had the space bar for jump, but it was getting too complicated to have the hit and the jump connected, so I separated them with just up for the jump. But then I got this working, and I thought, but making the AI I thought would be too much of a challenge. So then I decided to come up with another plan. Doing the AI was quite tricky. So if I go into first I did the keyboard only, because to be honest, I got it working and I thought, wow, that's going to be really hard to recode it again now to make it touch compatible with the on-screen layout and joystick. But thanks to Linky, it was actually dead easy. Now I have put in two platform movement objects. One's for the enemy, one's for you, the player. Got some cool scan lines to give it a kind of retro look. I've layered some bits and pieces together, like this. This layer here has got most of the playing features on it. Oh, sorry, this layer. This layer is just, yeah, just to kind of stack it all together to make it look nice. And it's just, that's got the tiled background to give it a kind of dungeony look. But if I go into the game code, there's not much to it. To tell the levels that you're on, I just kind of use this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one for when you win, and one for when you lose, the CPU wins, and there's one if you are successful in getting through all the 6 levels. So they're just set up that for each any level, if they match the level, it forces the animation to those level placeholders. Here I just set an alt value so that I could actually go from the win to the what level it was. A bit tricky because I should have come up with a way of the first time you play it only having to press it once, but you have to press it twice to get started, because that was one of the best solutions I could come up with at the time in the time frame that we had to get it finished. And oh yeah, that's just some of the any stuff to save your progress. And I've popped everything down here into sort of levels. These ones, there's not much to it. That's just if the game started, you'll actually get into these, which has got the game code. But it's just slightly different. They're pretty much a mirror of each other, except that the amount of lives changes each time. So here, even though it says force frame to 0, that's when you got 6 lives, then it's 5 lives, etc., until you got 1 life left on the last level, which makes it super frustrating but challenging. Now let's have a look in some of the code in some of the games. Oops, wrong one here. I've used the similar test for obstacles so that it won't go on the x-axis off the screen to the left and to the right, except this time I've used a pixel distance. Seems to work very good. And I've centered the display always from the player, but the game's not really big enough to worry about centering the frame anyway. But had it been the dimensions weren't so tight, you could have a bit of roaming in the game to make it a bit more interesting. Here's all the keyboard movement, except when I say keyboard now, this is the touch one, so it's on-screen keyboard movements and animations, and then the AI, not yet, there's all my stuff still. The AI was a lot easier to program than I thought. So here, enemy AI. So I used the collision boxes that the sprites are kind of stuck to, and I use distances between them to say, you know, which way the AI is going to face, and is going to keep walking towards the player because it's going to go up to meet them to attack them. And then I use just a counter to say that if the counter's less than 4, add to the counter. And when the counter gets to that maximum, then it resets it, because each time the counter kind of counts through, it's going to randomly set an attack and a pose. So whether it's standing up, crouching down. I could have probably done the pose to 3, and it wouldn't be hard to include a roll function as well for the AI. I'm just getting a bit time poor, but you know, that's the beauty of this sort of competition. People want to build on you know, what's out there and create their own engine off someone else's design. Well, go for it. That's what this is all about, is sharing ideas behind your code. Yeah, so there's just if then really. But this is important here, that if the enemy hitbox hits the barbarian, which you're the player, it takes a life off, and the slice is played. So this is when it's a sword attack, and this one is if it's crouched down, because that's the only 2 ways I decided to enable the hit. But if I close that and get in here, you can see these little player collision box. So that's what the PMO is deciding, that okay, it's not going to go any further than this active 2 line that I've just got across here, and I've made that invisible. It just kind of keeps it to one spot. So if I play this, so the CPU AI, it's pretty aggressive. If you wanted it faster, you could actually, I think it is right down the bottom, and I'll look for some yellow, and it should have a timer there here. Every 50th of a second. If you sped that up, it'd go through the choices even faster and probably attack even faster. So I'll just try and see what happens. So there's plenty more opportunity if someone wanted to make the levels progress harder as they go. But ironically, because the way that I've structured it, it actually gets harder because I reduce a life each time. So I didn't really bother mucking around with the speed of the AI attack because towards the end it gets so frustrating anyway. But perhaps I could have staggered that a bit more, and that opportunity's there if people wanted to play with it themselves. But yeah, that's my Stickarian game, and I hope people enjoy playing. But most of all, I hope people also enjoy just looking at my messy code, and I've tried to label most things to try and make a bit of sense. But that was just really for me to keep track of things. But I suppose it'd help someone to make sense of it themselves and see how it's been put together. And I wish everyone else good luck in the PixelCRAM 2025 Jam using ClickTeam Fusion 2.5. And I've enjoyed playing other people's entrants as well. Now, probably am not going to be able to keep this going for 15 minutes as suggested, but I suppose that's the maximum limit, not that everyone's got to talk about their game for that length of time. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of my effort. I had very little time to put this together. I had a couple of late nights trying to get it finalized, trying to swap it from keyboard to touch setup, but it's actually worked quite nicely, and resizing it from my original test idea was challenging as well, but again, yeah, a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it, and a special shout out to Linky for his multi-touch improvement, because yeah, it's made it so much easier to navigate and swap it over, and ironically, as I play it, I don't even need to use
Victory!
Okay, and I guess the other really interesting thing that worked out well was using the keyboard layout. You've got to use so if you want to go diagonal for the roll function, you've got to hit the down and the right together, yet on this layout, the diagonal works beautifully. I don't have to hit both buttons together, I just hit the diagonal and away it goes. So for on-screen layout, this has been done really well. Alright, well, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed playing Stickarian.